we're starting to see the progress when it comes to this smart technology, the Internet of Things. And that's something I've talked about a lot, the Internet of Things. It's something, if you don't know what that is, you need to know, because everything is going to run off of that technology. But I've got some more stuff as far as the smart city and the smart grocery store that's come available. But as far as the smart city goes, the next step of getting people to go in this is now coming online. And I've actually got another video about the smart city coming straight from one of the guys at the WEF, where he's talking about how the city and the social credit system and the surveillance and the Internet of Things technology, how it all cooperates, how it all works together. I really want you guys to check this out. Pay attention to what he says and pay attention to what it looks like. You'll notice some comparable things to China. Check this out.
When cities adopt new technologies like Internet of Things technologies, they're really having to dramatically change the way they do business to move from a static analog world into a dynamic world based on real-time information. And it can't happen without a foundation of policies to help ensure that as you roll out technologies, that you have adequate protections in place for privacy, for security.
A smart city is not only about convenience or efficiency. It must be human-centric and achieve safety and security, fairness and accountability.
The key is these technologies need to be interoperable, and these policies need to be human-centric and drive inclusiveness.
The G20 Global Smart Cities Alliance exists because governments everywhere want to know what policies are needed to build smart cities that live up to their values. We're bringing together leading cities, experts, institutions to share these policies through a roadmap built on real-world experiences.
Since the G20 called for this initiative in 2019, the Global Smart City Alliance has been developing an impressive suite of policies in such areas as open data, accessibility, security, and privacy as core smart city components.
I want to congratulate the Alliance on launching the global policy framework so that there is no lag between what we can do and how we govern.
In just a year's time, we've kicked off the largest policy transformation for smart cities since the term was invented. We want to ensure that your city can chart a path forward that is more sustainable, that is more resilient, and ultimately more equitable and prosperous for all.
Doesn't that sound joyous? Doesn't that look like fun? Yeah. So, there's some things I want you guys to pay attention to. First of all, they're just throwing it out there, and you'll notice it looks just like the China social credit system, the WeChat system that we talked about like 2 weeks ago. It looks identical. It's scanning cars, it's scanning faces, it's scanning eye retinas, facial recognition. It's scanning your phones, so it's always listening and watching your phones. It's constantly monitoring everybody. You'll also notice that the guy who was talking was the Internet of Things technology head for the WEF. I told you guys this Internet of Things technology, this program, is going to control everything. It's very important that you understand that, because it's the connection between the city, it's the connection between the government, and it's the connection between you, and it's all together. That's your Internet of Things profile, where it's going to know more about you than you know about yourself. It's going to create your own digital twin, so you're going to basically have another version of you online. It's going to connect everything together, all of your smart stuff, your smart meters, your smartphones, your smart consoles, TVs, appliances, your car, all of the smart lights, street lights and everything. Those are all going to be interconnected. It's all going to be connected together that way. And so This is the guy who's helping head this up and get everything together in the framework. Another thing that you'll notice from the video is you saw multiple people using that smart board where they're like in the park and it's got the thing with all the cameras and stuff, and you can go up and take a look at it and everything. We just showed a video also 2 weeks ago, I think, where it was in Australia and the guy was filming himself using that board. They've already got that in parts of Australia. It's already there. You can see how many people are in the park. You can see camera angles of all the different smart lights and everything there. You can see everything. They're just allowing you to see it. It's all right there. You'll also notice that there's multiple versions of driverless EV cars. There was the taxi cars, and then there was that kind of, it wasn't really a bus, but it was more like I think they're called tuk-tuks or tuk-tuks. I'm not sure. Vietnam's got them where somebody is on a bicycle and you can put like 6 or 8 people in there. Well, it looks like they've got multiple ones of those as well that are EV. So they've got the driverless cars, those smart cars and everything going in there as well. It's almost identical to what we see in China. It's actually, I would say it's more advanced than what we see in China. And it's the social credit system and everything. Now, there's also a couple things I want you to that I want to point out on this. I've got a couple pictures here. So, from the video, hopefully you guys can still hear me. From the video, you will notice a pin, or what's that called, a lapel or something like that. I just called a pin on the dude's suit. It's kind of hard to tell, I know, but it's a circle with a whole bunch of different colors. That pin is this. It is the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals lapel pins. And you will find many, many different politicians or groups of like these elite groups, individuals of these elite groups that wear these pins. You will know what they're a part of. This is that UN Sustainable Development Goal thing. This is the G20, your Davos group. That's what this is. And you can kind of see what it means, what it stands for. 17 SDGs include things like no poverty, zero hunger, climate action, gender equality, peace and justice, all of that stuff. The wokeism, the climate agenda, everything all runs through the SDGs group agenda. And so whenever you see that pin on, you know what that person's a part of. You'll also notice the same type of color or design on different symbols out there that people are a part of. It's all connected. It's all connected. And now we're starting to see this stuff actually come alive. We're starting to see it actually be put into practice. And that would be the smart grocery store. There are several of them in the US and there are several of them in the UK as well. I'll explain what it is after this video. This is somebody who shot this video at the Whole Foods that they went into. Somebody needs to teach this person how to actually record things because her camera bounces around all over the place. But just so you get an idea, check this out.
This is very strange. This is Whole Foods Market.
They scan your stuff in your bag, right?
So you can't even walk into Whole Foods unless you go through this machine?
Yeah.
I need my own QR code. How do I get my own QR code? How do I get my own QR code? I have to have my own QR code to come into Whole Foods?
Means you don't have to stand in line when you leave.
What do? They just what?
It
What
just
do
knows you have it because it scans it.
It knows you have products?
Yeah, it's like the Wi-Fi or whatever it is. It scans your products.
Whoa. And this is the future of grocery stores? Whoa. Who did this first? Where in California?
Where was the first one? You know which city? It's from California. Dude, we had 10 minutes, now we got 5. Come on.
And it's with Amazon. Whole Foods and Amazon are requiring this to enter. She has her own QR code to get in.
Okay. So, I know there's some things hard to catch and all that stuff. So, how this works. Okay, if you don't know, Amazon bought Whole Foods. So, Amazon owns Whole Foods to start with. And so, what they're doing now is they are setting up grocery stores where you'll have a QR code or Amazon One. Now, Amazon One, if you don't know, we've talked about it a couple times, but I just want people to make sure people know what it is. Amazon One is palm payment. You don't need a card. You don't even need your phone. You don't need any of that. You will just walk over, scan your palm, and it will register who you are and automatically withdraw money from your account. So when you walk into the store, if you notice, there's several turnstiles, and then there's one at the end. We'll talk about that in a second. But there's several turnstiles where you either get your QR code and you scan it with your phone, or you use Amazon One and you scan your palm, and it'll open the turnstile so you can walk in. Now, you're given just a cart and a bag, or bags, whatever. You don't even need to go to the register. There are sensors and the Internet of Things connectivity. When you pick up an item and place it in the bag or in the cart, it will automatically register what item you got, how many of them, and it will add it to your total. And you do that, you do your shopping, you put everything in your cart, and then when you walk out, you don't go to the register, you just walk out, it'll automatically withdraw payment from your account because it knows who you are, and then it knows what type of food that you have. And yeah, I'm actually glad that you brought that up. So the smart fridges, yes, they can scan how much food you actually have at home. You can set like your grocery list, and if it sees that you're out of that item, it'll automatically add it to your grocery list and everything. Yeah, it's the Internet of Things technology. I would not be surprised if you would have that set up and then all of a sudden Whole Foods knows what type of food you need and it'll just automatically send something to your house. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that either. But this isn't science fiction. This isn't a movie. This isn't something that we've been talking about and it's going to happen sometime in the future. This is something that is happening now. It is literally happening now where it's all connected. Now, at the very end, if you want to pay at the register, you can, but it's cashless. You have to have an account anyways, and it's a self-checkout. Now, this is something that I've talked about a little bit with self-checkout, where you won't need a card, you won't need your phone or anything. If you notice all the self-checkouts, they've got like the cameras at the checkout thing. No, that's not so you can sit there and stare at yourself about how dreamy you look or something like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's facial recognition. All those cameras are facial recognition. It scans who you are and everything. And we know something that's coming is facial recognition, face payment. You don't need a card. You don't need your phone. You don't need anything but to scan your face and it'll automatically withdraw payment out. If you don't believe me, check out what's going on in China.
So guys, the technologies are everywhere. So let's get some water with this machine. For example, we get some... What would you like to drink? Let's get some water simply. You press this one. No phone, no cash required. Simply press, scan your face and get your bottle of water.
请面向屏幕。
It's coming! Thank you. That's so convenient. The first time I see such a machine without any devices to pay. Wow.
That's it. If you notice, all she had to do was just put her face over the camera. It scanned it, it paid for it, and then she got her water that she wanted to buy. That's just a vending machine in China. That's a normal vending machine that you will find all over the place, where all they do is scan, it pays, and it withdraws it from your account. It's all going to be completely connected. And if you don't have enough social credit, you can't buy anything. If you don't have enough carbon credit, you can't buy anything. It's all going to be connected. And since all of the stores, all of the machines, everything is going to be connected that way, it's the Internet of Things technology. It's going to have your profile everywhere. So even if you, say, went to the other side of the world, well, you can't run away from it.